it's time for our weekly look at this week in Catholic history here on the Sunrise Morning Show. And our Catholic historian, Kevin Schmiesing, is back with us for it. He's author of A Catholic Pilgrimage Through American History. Good morning, Kevin.
Hey, Anna. Good morning.
It's good to have you back. And we start in the very late 13th century today and the death of the man for whom my alma mater is named.
Really? Okay. His name is Roger Bacon, and the date is actually pretty uncertain, Anna. Many of the details of his life are uncertain, including his date of death and also his date of birth, which was around 1220 in England. He was born into a well-to-do family. He was well educated. He studied and taught at prestigious institutions of higher education in medieval Europe, the University of Paris, where his colleague was St. Albert the Great, and also at Oxford, where he encountered another great scientific mind of the day, Robert Grosseteste. He spent much of his career at these two universities, though again, exactly which years were spent where is uncertain. At that time, the lines of distinction between the various fields of learning weren't as clear as they are today, but Bacon devoted himself in particular to natural science and especially to empirical experimentation. And it was this focus on discovering more about the world and on testing theories by the use of experiments that has given Bacon his place as a major figure in the development of the scientific method. Around 1257, he entered the Franciscan order that had just been founded about 50 years earlier. In 1267, he completed his 878-page Opus Maius, a summary of knowledge in science, math, and philosophy, which he wrote at the behest of Pope Clement IV. Notwithstanding his esteemed reputation, he got into trouble for some of his views, including harsh criticism of fellow Franciscans and other church leaders, as well as some apocalyptic speculation. And these controversial opinions probably explain why he's never been canonized. But he continues to hold a prominent place in the history of Western civilization, the history of science in particular. And he died in the 1290s, probably and possibly this week in June 1294. Roger Bacon.
Did your research find whether or not it's true that he blew out the wall of his monastery when he was discovering gunpowder for himself?
I did see some reference to that. I don't think it was described as blowing out the wall of his monastery, but he definitely did experiment with gunpowder. So,
all right, okay. That was the story that went through the halls of Roger Bacon High School in Cincinnati. So a big shout out to my alma mater, a Franciscan high school here in the Cincinnati area. And so let's head to some American history now and the late 18th century.
Yeah, well, we're still talking about Franciscans, actually, just 500 years later. Roger Bacon's successors were active in evangelizing the Americas, including the California coast, and they founded Mission San Jose this week in 1797. San Jose is one of the 21 missions of the California chain, which stretch from San Diego in the south to San Francisco de Solano in the north. The first 9 were founded under the presidency of St. Junipero Serra. His story has become pretty well known since his canonization in 2015. Serra's successor as president of the missions was Fermin Lasuen, who founded the next 9 missions. And on June 11th, this week in 1797, he inaugurated his 5th, the 14th overall, San Jose. The new mission was situated on the east side of San Francisco Bay. So a geographical clarification, because it might be confusing. It was for me the first time I encountered it. Mission San Jose is today located in the city of Fremont. Again, that's on the east side of the bay. The city of San Jose is named after the pueblo of San Jose, which was not associated with the mission, was actually closer to Mission Santa Clara, which had been founded 20 years earlier and about 20 miles away at the south end of San Francisco Bay. So basically, Mission San Jose is not the same as the city of San Jose, even though they're both on the bay. Mission San Jose was quickly successful. About 300 native Ohlone converts were in residence by 1800, but like all the other California missions, San Jose was secularized, removed from Franciscan control in the 1830s, a little while after Mexican independence from Spain. The lands were then sold off or distributed to wealthy families. Parcel of the old property was returned to the Catholic Church after California became a state in 1850. The old adobe church became the parish church of St. Joseph, but it was destroyed by an earthquake in 1868. A wooden church replaced it until the 1970s, at which point it was moved to make way for a reconstruction of the original adobe structure. So that original looking church is what you'll see today. though it was actually built in the 1980s. Mission San Jose was founded this week in 1797.
We've been talking to Kevin Schmiesing with our weekly look at this week in Catholic history. You can find his Catholic History Trek podcast and his book from Ave Maria Press, A Catholic Pilgrimage Through American History, linked at sunrisemorningshow.com. Kevin, as always, thank you so much.
Thank you, Anna.